There is nothing else to cut. There's nothing left for me to cut. I have cut so much out of my life just to make it. When I say everything is high, gas prices high, I'm filling up my tank every 3 to 4 business days. 3 to 4 business days. Everything is high. Food high. Light bills high. Gas bill high. Gas prices high. Rent is high. The sky is high. I am tired. I made the most money I've ever made in my life. It may not be much to a lot of people, but to me, it's a lot. I could potentially make up, not to put my financial business out there, potentially take home $2,400, depending on how I work. My thing is, I never see the money. I never see it. Where is it? Where did it go? It disappeared. It's in my account and poof, out. Gone. 2 seconds. Out of there. Gone. Like, just gone. I'm not understanding what is going on with this economy. I don't know what's happening, but I am tired of making the cuts. I bring my own lunch to work. I skip meals. I'm going to be a 2T by summer. I'm going to be a 2T by summer. I promise you. I don't know what the fuck to do.
You know what really gets me about all the price surging that we're seeing is that it doesn't have to be that way. They purposely wait for these big events to happen to us so that we panic, and then they increase prices and then use these big events as the excuses to why they had to increase prices. When realistically, they don't have to increase prices because they already had record profits in the first place. For example, the gas prices don't have to be this high. They're using the war to say that this is why prices are going up, but realistically, that's not why they're going up. Flight prices don't have to be this high either. They use this war once again to raise prices, and they make it seem like they're being forced to do these things when realistically they could eat the cost for a little bit and still make money, but they just choose not to. They'd rather squeeze us for every single drop they could get versus just eat the cost, and they would still make money that way. They'd probably actually make more because if prices are cheaper, people are more likely to buy. The same way how when the pandemic happened, all they did was raise prices for groceries because they knew people were panicking and desperate, and then never brought them down again. The same way how everything is priced based on tariffs, even though tariffs were ruled illegal, and prices never went down again. They wait for moments for us to panic and then raise prices so that we panic even more.
I'm going to be really mean, and so buckle up because I'm exhausted. I am so tired of the internet right now. Y'all are so mean. Y'all are so miserable. You look like big fat losers. To be completely frank with you, you look like a big fat loser. That's what you look like. And it's really making the internet not as fun as it used to be. And I don't want to hear anything about accountability. Accountability this, accountability that. It's not accountability, it's jealousy. It's pure, unmitigated jealousy. That's all that it is. Because I go on my favorite influencers' videos and I see the comment sections and it's just hater after hater after hater after hater after hater. And I'm sorry, I don't want to hear anything about accountability. You cannot hold people accountable whom you are not in community with. You are not doing anything but looking like a miserable fool on the internet. That's all you're doing. Mind you, when people are talking about like income disparity and things of that nature in this country, we're talking about literal billionaires. Billionaires. I'm not talking about such and such who bought a nice car and posted about it. I'm talking about people who have literally no concept of flying commercial, who are actually just ruining the planet because they're flying private for every whim. That's who I'm talking about. Who some of your faves are billionaires. So like, let's all be realistic. Like y'all are going on these witch hunts and these crusades against like normal people. And it's insane to me. Y'all are going to give yourselves a heart attack or a stroke from just stressing yourselves out. And genuinely y'all have become so insufferable that nobody takes what y'all are saying seriously. Nobody's taking it seriously because y'all are so insufferable all of the time. It's aggravating. Just because somebody posts on the internet does not mean they need to hear every thought you've ever had about them in their comment section. You actually could put it in the group chat, put it in your journal, think it, and not do anything about it. Those are all viable options. And if this touched your nerve, maybe think, I maybe don't need to post in everybody's comment section every time they post their little innocuous video. Their little video that means absolutely nothing. They're not commenting on anything. They're not saying anything. They're just posting a little video and going on about their life. Maybe I don't need to post my thoughts on that. Anyway, food for thought.
Growing up is realizing that at some point, it stops being about how you were raised and it starts being about how you decide to live. And I know this isn't easy to hear, right? Because some of us were taught things we never should have had to carry, like how to keep the peace at all costs, or how to ignore our own needs, or how to love people who never learned how to love us well, how to survive instead of actually live. And none of that was your fault. But at some point, you realize that understanding where your patterns came from and continuing to hand them the steering wheel aren't the same. Let me ask you this. Are there any choices that you're making today that the younger version of you had to make just to survive? Because growing up isn't pretending that your past didn't affect you, right? It's deciding that your past doesn't get the final say. You get to learn new ways to communicate. You get to set boundaries without feeling guilty. You get to choose peace over chaos. You get to stop calling familiar pain just who I am. And maybe that's what healing really looks like. You know, not becoming someone completely different, but becoming the person that you would have been if fear hadn't been making all of your decisions. Because eventually it stops being what happened to you and starts being about what you choose next.
There was a woman that posted on here that it took her 73 interviews in order to get an offer. 73 fucking interviews. And I was thinking about it because I was like, I've had 5 interviews this year. One of which I did get the job, but it's a temp job. So it's like kind of like easier to get the job than a full-time job. And I'm just like 73 fucking interviews. That's where we're at in the job market, where it takes 73 interviews to get a job. That's like ungodly. That's an ungodly amount of interviews to do. Like the max interviews you should have to do is maybe like 20 in order to get a job. And I think she's counting all the rounds that she had to do, but like they're interviews, so like they count because they have you going, like most companies have you run through like at least 3 rounds of interviews in order to even hear anything. And I was like, oh my God, 73? 70 fucking 3? No, we're fucked. We're fucked. If it's taking almost 100 interviews in order to get a job, and then we're all doing it. All of us are going through this. So it's like, what, we all need to get like 100 interviews, send in 1,000 applications. That's like the statistics I'm getting. It's like, it takes about over 1,000, a little bit more over 1,000 applications in order to get an offer. And then God knows how many interviews you have to go through before you get an offer. 73 is fucking crazy.
Hey y'all, hey. I just left my doctor's office and I gotta be honest. Ever since my breakdown and the pandemic, I can't see the world the same. I can't interact with the world the same. And we've been trying to figure out how I should navigate the world. Trying to manage my symptoms. I'm literally allergic to this society. I have no desire to participate, and I literally don't have the energy to do anything because all my energy is wrapped up in just trying to fucking survive. I don't care about the things that we were told we should care about. I don't give a fuck about none of it. You feel me? Like, now that I see through the veil and I understand now what has happened to us and what we're doing, like, I feel like conspiracy theorists and, you know, woke people, whatever the fuck you want to call it, it's just a fucking another way for them to keep us controlled, right? Like, I remember having these thoughts and like pushing them down because I wasn't comfortable sharing them because it went against everything that was normal in fucking society. But they came from somewhere, right? Like, why am I having these thoughts? Why am I feeling this way? This shit is not natural. We're not living in a natural way. And balance is about to be restored because everybody that sees through the veil and all the shit that's happening is waking up. We're waking up and starting to question shit. Like, we're literally like a big ass human experiment. They keep doing shit knowing the impact it will have on our subconscious mind and our behaviors and our belief system. They know how this shit works. Why didn't they teach us this shit in school? Because they don't want us to know. They want to control us. And we're out here thinking we're free and we're making choices. No, is it really a choice if they give you the things to choose from? Are you really free? Like, that shit blows my mind. I have no interest. And I look at people like, get the fuck out of my face. Like, I literally don't have the energy to do anything else. My brain and all the stuff I was doing before, that shit is, it's just, it doesn't make sense. None of it makes sense. After my breakdown, or before my breakdown, when things started crumbling around me and things were falling apart, I was like, what the fuck is going on? The biggest catalyst for me was when I got sick from working from home, I ended up having pulmonary embolism. I was hospitalized for like 3 days. And shortly after, my job started phasing people back into the office, just during the pandemic. My doctors suggesting that I do not go back into the office out of fear of getting exposed to COVID, because I'm still recovering from my lung condition. When my job pushed back and basically said, we don't care that you were just hospitalized, you still got to come into the office. Mind you, I was working from home for over 2 years, doing my job efficiently. My direct supervisor approved the fact that I can still continue work from home. But they wanted to push back and basically said they didn't give a fuck if I died or not. Because if my doctors are saying that I have a lung condition that can possibly cause complications and death if I get exposed to COVID, why would you demand that I come back into the office? And this is the shit I'm talking about. Like, the things that they think they have control over, they think that they should be able to make decisions like that for your life. Like, you just proved to me that you don't give a fuck about me. And that shit hit hard, yo. I was like, what? And then the fight began after that. Like, after that, everything's changed for me. Everything changed for me. I was like, I can't. What the fuck? I'm not doing it. I started saying no. I was like, I don't care. And I filed civil rights complaints. I went up to HR. I filed a federal lawsuit. Like, all the things, exhausted all my resources trying to fight my case. And even was during this time, the process, I'm being told that you're up against a Goliath. I'm like, then call me David, yo. What the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, don't try to make this shit okay. Don't try to humble me and tell me to stand down because you're not going to be able to. No, fuck you and fuck the system. Because at the end of the day, this is my life. And if I am not here, you are going to move the fuck on. So I have to prioritize myself. And I don't even know what that fucking looks like because I've never had to do that before. Well, not had to, but I should have. But I've never done it before, right? I've always been dependent on external things for everything. And everything came to light. Everything started unraveling. And I was forced to face myself. So I'm grateful for all the things that I went through. Don't get me wrong. But it exposed so much that I can't function in society anymore. I can't function under these rules, these systems, none of it. I can't. And I'm not going to be forced to. I literally don't give a fuck what the consequences are. Because death at this point is a fucking... That's not a threat. That's not a threat. That's something I gladly welcome at this point. You know what I mean? Like, I return to whatever. Like, this body can go to fucking hell because it's been programmed by somebody else. It hasn't been programmed by me. So I'm now trying to figure out how my body works, understand who I am, and connect with whatever the fuck that I'm supposed to have been connected to. And I look around and there's nothing in this society that supports this. I don't want no parts of it. I'm over it. I'm fucking over it. And I just left my doctor's office and we're constantly talking about like how to help me recover from the shit that I went through. And they slap a label on you when you start waking up. You know, they give you some mental health disorder or some kind of, you know, whatever, label you crazy because you no longer, like, I'm literally allergic. You can no longer function in this society. I don't want to work for nobody because I realize they don't give a fuck about me, just to make money to pay for shit that y'all made up, that y'all are stealing from the earth anyway. Like, all this shit is made from natural fucking resources. Everything. Every single thing that you see, that you use, everything, this car, this phone, your spoon, everything. They figure out how to use natural resources to create something. And then when you invent money and then exploit people to make the money to buy the thing that you fucking use natural resources to create. Why are we not just sharing and evolving as a society? If I create something from natural resources that we all can benefit from, why would I not just share it? None of this shit makes sense, and nobody's been questioning it, and now we're all sitting here watching this shit fucking crumble. But hey, it's America for you, right? Fucking over it.